Hi guys, this is my 5th video, I believe, and today I'm going to tell you one of my testimonies. I have a few different kinds of testimonies, but I'm going to start with the one that God's really been making me think about lately, and that is one of my medical testimonies. So, hope this just inspires you to know even deeper how amazing God's amazing grace is. So, let's start off with the basics. I have 3 other siblings. I was raised in a Christian home. My parents were together, and everything was pretty normal. I went to church every Sunday. I was homeschooled for most of elementary school, and everything was just fine and dandy. I loved life. I was advanced in school. I just loved to sing and just have fun being a kid, and I never thought that anything would really ever be any different. And then, when I turned 8 years old, I started having some problems with my eyes, or so I thought. I just kept feeling these flashes in my eyes and irritation and not really sure how to describe it. We went to the doctor and I was prescribed reading glasses, and we thought, oh, that's simple, and done with that. Except that wasn't really the cure at all. The next thing that happened was me and my mom were at the grocery store, and once again I was 8 years old, and we were heading back to the car, and my mom notices that I wasn't behind her anymore. Instead, I was off in some other direction in the parking lot by myself, probably spinning in circles or just wandering around, totally out of it. You could probably say unconscious, yet I was still standing up. And it really scared my mom. She tried to get my attention, and nothing was registering. She had to go get me and then put me in the car. And that was when she realized, okay, there's something wrong here. We went to the doctor again, and I was taken to a neurologist, and we ran a lot of different tests until finally they discovered that even though I was perfectly healthy, had lived perfectly normal for, up to the point where I was 8 years old, they had found epilepsy. And they had found that I was epileptic out of nowhere at 8 years old. And it was a pretty big shock. It was a pretty big horror to my entire family, honestly. I don't know really what they went through seeing me go through that, but I understand now that it was probably very hard. So, after that, they put me on medication, and just kind of tried to keep living life as normally as possible. I was, like I said, good in school, talented, loved to sing and dance ballet and play soccer. And even through all that, even knowing, I have seizures now, and they were kind of annoying, and they kind of got in the way, I was like, you know what, God's going to heal me. At 8 years old, I was like, Jesus has me in His hands, and He's got this. I'm not worried about it, because God loves me, and He's going to turn my life around, and this isn't a big deal. And at that point, the seizures were at a pretty low status. I didn't have that many, but it was definitely not a good thing. It wasn't really something I wanted to live with. But I told all my doctors, Jesus is going to heal me. I'm not going to get worse because Jesus is going to heal me. And God either has a sense of humor or just from the start was building me to be a strong leader. Like, just at this point in my life, because He built it up all previous to this. Because more and more the seizures increased, and it got in the way of my life. Because soon, I used to sing on stage all the time when I was a little girl. But the problem was I would be singing, and then I'd have a seizure. And then that's awkward, because you stop in the middle. So that got taken away from me. I love singing. one of my top things, you know. It was like my whole life then. I couldn't do it anymore. It was too embarrassing, and it just didn't work out because I had seizures. The next thing, I couldn't dance ballet anymore because I had seizures in our recitals, and I would just fall over. That was embarrassing. I continued to play soccer for a really long time because I was really good and I really loved it, and my coach was a Christian, and everyone was really supportive of me on the team, but I did have seizures on the field, and they would have to call a timeout, and I'm sure that was really awkward for everybody, but I kept on pushing. I kept saying, God is going to heal me. I don't know why you're all so worried, because God is going to heal me, and He's got this. And the thing was, I was proclaiming Jesus to my doctors, and I led some of the doctors to the Lord, and it was hard. It was so hard, but I knew Jesus would bring me through it. But the only thing that happened is they got worse. They kept getting worse. My life kept getting interrupted. I couldn't do thing after thing after thing. And then finally I was on all this medication. I was not the same person at all anymore. You mix drugs with drugs with drugs with drugs until you just get this awful messed up child. I was angry and aggressive and suicidal, and it just, my whole life felt like it was over, and I cried out to God and I said, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? And I'm not sure if I really know the answer to that, but I went through all that, and I was so suicidal. I remember jumping in front of a car when I was 9 years old because I wanted to die so bad rather than keep having seizures. I didn't want to cause my family any more financial stress. I just wanted to die. And I spent a lot of time by myself when I was young because the doctor said it'd be good for me to get my aggression out. But it made me a very dark person. A very dark person. And I dealt with that for years and years to come. Not years to come. It's over. I dealt with that for years. Because it got instilled in me, the darkness. But when I was 10, maybe I was 11, July of 2005, I had brain surgery. And I was scared a little bit, but I don't know how I was so confident when I was younger, because I was confident. I had been through hell, and I was like, I'm ready for this brain surgery, and I'm ready to risk dying, and I'm ready to risk everything, because this needs to go. And so I had brain surgery, and I beat all the hospital's records for recovery time. I recovered in, I'm not sure if it was 1 day or 2 days, but it was very, very short, and I was fully recovered from the brain surgery within 2 days. And I was ready to get out of there. And I had pretty much praised God throughout the time, but really, especially the 6 months before the surgery, I was really down. I had had so much energy taken from me. And after my brain surgery, I stopped having seizures for 6 months, and then they came back in another way, and that was disappointing because I thought they were gone. And then they came back, and I was so angry at God. So angry for making me this beautiful, talented, exciting person, and then just throwing epilepsy at me. And I didn't understand. And so after that, I got some more treatment, laser treatment. That's totally another topic. It works, and my seizures eventually went away, and I've been on medication since I was 12. And for a long time, after I was healed, I've been living a normal life, completely normal. I compete in different, in chorus and different things, and God's given me a lot of gifts and a lot of talents and a lot of ability to be able to reach out to people for His kingdom. And I'm really, really thankful for that. And every once in a while, I remember what I went through. But I didn't really think about it that much. I took it for granted. Definitely took it for granted. I was just like, oh, I went through all this, and I was so strong throughout it. It was just me. No. It wasn't about me. God didn't put me through that to be in darkness for the rest of my life. Even though I was in darkness for a long time. There are people that have had brain surgery that can't walk, that can't drive, that can't talk correctly, that are vegetables, or that got held back in school, or all these tremendously horrible things. And the thing is, none of that happened to me. I do struggle with math a lot now, and driving is a little more difficult than it should be because of my brain, but I can do it. And I can do anything I want because Jesus makes me capable. And He healed me. I cannot even express to you how bad my life was. It didn't exist because I was epileptic. Everything was gone. Some force of nature had robbed my life from me. But you know what? Even though I had to have surgery and I had to have treatment and I had to be on medication, I'm still going to give God the glory. Because I could be so much worse off. I could still have seizures. I know kids that I met in the hospital that had brain surgery. They're not any better. But God has a calling for my life. And He made me better. And He made me healed and He made me beautiful and glorious to reach people for His name. I have been through so much, and I have way too much to take for granted that I shouldn't. I have all these instruments to be able to serve God with. And I'm sorry, I'm just a mess. But I don't think about this a lot until one day I thought about it. And I was like, it's not about me. It's about God. He gave me my life back and more. I've been able to enjoy life. I have friends. I love my youth group and my church. And I wouldn't have any of that if I hadn't praised God throughout the time. I wouldn't have any of that if God hadn't shown His mercy on me and my family. I wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for God's amazing love. And I don't know what else to say. I'm fully functional now, and it's all because of God. And in my next video, I'm gonna explain how God brought me out of the darkness that I got stuck in for a long time because of the depression that first the medication caused, and then because Satan had a stronghold on my life because he knew God wanted me for His glory. See you next time.